Alright, so I figured I'd look at AVAX again, because I do have some new areas of interest, some new potential trade ideas. So I want to go over that, and pretty much just what I'm seeing with AVAX. So for context, AVAX was in a kind of macro downtrend here, where we had lower highs and lower lows. I did short this last lower low on AVAX, and I've since closed that short. I think I closed it down here a little bit before we got to the value area low, but still that ended up being a great trade. And since we have gotten a bounce from the value area low of this macro range, we got to move up to the point of control of the macro range, which is actually right here. And then we got a retracement down to the golden pocket, which we saw absorption at. I actually made a video pointing out the absorption that we saw at this golden pocket. We saw a lot of people shorting this. Very locally, we saw people shorting this as price was making higher lows and higher highs. And I did take a long here, which I closed out sometime in here once we started making these local lower highs and lower lows. And I think this is about where, I left off. I just closed out that trade. I haven't been in an AVAX trade since. And we have come up to put in one last higher high. We kind of SFP'd the highs one more time. And now have come down to put in lower lows. So first, since we put in a higher high, we have a new golden pocket, new fib levels to look at. And since price is, kind of in a downtrend right now, I'll go over support levels first. So firstly, I noticed that right around this golden pocket, we do have a 6-hour order block. If you go to the 6-hour time frame, this purple candle right in between those two blue candles, that then, came up to break structure. So this is looking like a pretty nice order block here. And we did actually have a 12-hour order block as well, but we just tapped it. Already came down to fill this one, so I had to go to a lower time frame, and the 8-hour was the next highest time frame with an order block on it. And this order block is lining up right with the golden pocket as well. So that is my first area of interest, right in between 15.9 and 15.4. And since we are getting a bounce from that 12-hour order block, it kind of gives us a chance to bring momentum and money flow up a little bit for if we come back down for another lower low. Maybe we can form some divergences. And we do also have an order block down below us. So as I was going through, when I'm looking for order blocks, I like to start on the higher time frames and go down, because the higher time frame ones are usually more significant. So we did have a daily order block here, but that one was filled with this wick, with that golden pocket retest. And when you go down to the 12-hour, we do have a 12-hour order block right here, but right now I'm choosing to keep this 4-hour order block up instead, just because the 4-hour order block is a little bit above the 12-hour, and other than that, they're pretty much the same. The 4-hour for some reason is a little bit bigger than the 12-hour order block, so I just chose to keep that one up instead. But we got pretty much order blocks on the 12-hour to the 4-hour right in that general area. And that red line that I have marked out is a key support resistance flip as well. Not only that, it is the value area low of the range, and you can see we had very nice resistance on it there, support here, even some support back here. So this order block in between 14.77 and like 14.5 is going to be a key level as well, I think. And for a little bit more confluence, we do have an NDPOC right in the middle of that order block from back here on March 12th. And both of those levels would give us the potential to put in a higher low and, potentially still maintain support inside this range. If we're going to put in a lower low here, we may be losing this macro range that we're trading in. So if you want AVAX to be bullish in the short term, a higher low somewhere inside of this range, and then ideally higher high above the point of control of the range is what you would really want to see. And one last piece of confluence for those supports, I had that fixed range pulled from the highs, but if you pull a fixed range from the lows, the value area low is right above the golden pocket, so we would be coming outside the value area low for that as well. So that's a bit more confluence for this support level. And then I'm still watching this 786 and previous range point of control right around 13.3 to 13 even. If we're going to come outside the value area low, this is a spot I would look for a bounce. But, unless we see something really bullish, like really clear divs on the high time frames and we can quickly get back into this range, I still think losing this value area low would be bearish. And then, we can look for some supports below that. I did see a daily order block there. Let's see if there's anything higher. Yeah, we have a 2-day order block right here. So we could mark that out as well. That could make for a nice trade setup. Even if you're just targeting the value area low retest, you put invalidation down below that order block. And there's always a chance that we get back into the range if we're going to come up to retest it. So I may keep that in mind. And then, we have the lows pretty much. There's an untapped weekly right around the lows. We could SFP the lows. So, I'd be looking for support down there as well. And if we start getting a move back to the upside, I do have a few resistance areas in mind. So, firstly, I have a potential 4-hour order block marked out up here. I do think it's an order block. The only reason I'm questioning it is because we did fall down outside of it. We kind of broke out of it and then came up to retest it in the next candle. Maybe some people may call this tapped, so that is why I marked it out with a question mark. I'm not sure if that's still a valid order block, but we do have the point of control of this range here. This is also, I believe, the point of control of the larger range, or it's right around that area. We could kind of wick above it like we've been doing and still find resistance on it. And there is also an NDPOC right in the middle of this order block. And just looking at it, I'd be willing to bet this is a golden pocket as well. The golden pocket is right above the order block. Not the best confluence. But if we come down to put in a lower low here, like if we get a move down towards this golden pocket, that would line up much better. That 618 would be right on top of the NDPOC, so that could be juicy if we get a move down to this golden pocket, then potentially target the golden pocket for resistance. And that is really it for resistance up here. This was a really fast and a really large wick, so I'm not seeing any order blocks up there, and the value area high of the range is right around that wick. So the 786 right now is right around the value area high, and it's around the highs of the range. You could potentially look for a short there. So yeah, I'd probably be watching the highs of the range as well. And then we still have these same resistances that we were looking at. If I pull this value area back to those highs, this is a value area high, and it is also the golden pocket from the highs to the lows. The golden pocket's lining up right around that value area high. So, right around $20 to 19.4. I'd say that's pretty key resistance as well. And let's see, do we have any order blocks up there as well? Something else for confluence? Not really seeing anything. It seems like we got a pretty fast move down there. Let's go to the lower time frames. So yeah, we do have some order blocks here. We have a 3-hour order block right in the middle of this, actually right in the middle of the value area high. So yeah, you can mark out the order block as well, and maybe target that specifically. So yeah, I like that area for resistance. And after that, if we're going to get above the golden pocket, if we're going to get above the 786, then I would be watching the highs. And at that point, we could be looking at some of this more macro resistance, like this macro golden pocket. But first, also, I would be looking at the value area high. We got a bounce from the value area low. At least we did. I guess the value area low shifted when I adjusted it. That's very interesting. Pull this back. Yeah, okay. So if you pull the value area to price action, value area low moves down a lot. That's very interesting. Maybe I can try pulling this over a little bit on this side. And yeah, I do like that a little better. Sometimes, you have to mess with the value areas. Anyway, I would probably consider this price action and here the range. This out here really isn't the range, so yeah, I don't mind moving the value area in a little bit. And so now in this case, we got to bounce from the value area low. If we can get above the point of control, then we may expect to move to the value area high, which in this case is lining up right with that wick. So I would also look for an SFP of that high. It is technically still the last lower high in this downtrend too, so it is a significant market structure point. Unless we come down to put in a lower low first, then this would be the last lower high. But yeah, for right now, the levels I am interested in at the moment are probably going to be these areas of confluence, these order blocks. I will probably have alerts set at them. And, if we see confirmations at any of those, I think they could make for some nice moves. All right, well, I think that is about it for this one. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. Really appreciate all of the support, and I'll see you all in the next one.